Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host Jennifer, and today we have another tutorial. I know it's back-to-back tutorials. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're making this cute little double thick Hotpad / pot holder. We are using, well at least I used, 100% cotton yarn is what you need. I am using the Himalayan denim yarn. I held it 3 together so that we had a nice thick Hotpad. You can use whatever yarn you want. As long as it's 100% cotton. I do actually talk about, my eyeglasses are dirty. I do talk about that in the tutorial. I suggest 100% cotton. I started off the beginning of the tutorial showing you how to do it using Premier Home cotton. You cannot use this for hot pads because it has the polyester in it, and the polyester will melt and you will get burned and it will be a bad day. So don't use, check, make sure it's 100% cotton. There's a lot of 100% cottons on the market, but I figured I would use the Himalayan denim because we just bought those really good deal packs. So we got these on Premier 5 for $5. So it's $1 a ball. And it comes in all these really pretty colors, right? And that's so pretty. So, like I said, I held 3 together to make it extra thick because this is a really, really thin cotton. It's, I'm going to say it's sport weight at best. It might even be slightly thinner than sport weight. And I used a 5, where's my hook? A 5mm hook holding 3 together of the denim. You see the way it's like kind of dark and then light? Even with 3 being held together, there's very much like different shading in it. This is created almost like an open bag. So we're working completely in the round, in the round, in the round. You're working in one solid like spiral in the round. And you create like a little, it's going to look like a pouch. It's going to look like a little bag. And then what you do when you get done with the bag is you open it up and you fold it like that. And you seam it up here. And then you have a double thick pot holder. It's ridiculously easy. We did a textured stitch on here so that it's extra thick, extra grippy because like it's textured. And also because it's really pretty. So, this took me a couple hours to make just because in between me working on this, I was cooking dinner, I was doing mom things, I was editing another video while I was filming this one, so there's a lot going on. So this took me a couple hours, but you should be able to reasonably pop this out in an hour or 2 hours without much problem. Holding 3 of those yarns together, my hands were hurting, but I was also crocheting kind of tight, and these are all things to keep into consideration. You can absolutely make these with just regular 1 strand of worsted weight cotton. You can do that if you have 100% cotton. Go for it. There's no rules. This is crochet. There's no rules. So stay tuned and I will show you how to make this really cute Jen's little pot holder. Alright, let's go to the table. Alright. To make this pot holder, I am using the Himalaya denim yarn. It is 100% cotton. I got this from Premier Yarns on their website. You can use any 100% cotton yarn for this, but because the Himalaya denim is so thin, I'm actually holding it 3 together to get just an average thickness. The 3 held together is only slightly thicker than the Premier Home cotton, but I can't use the Premier Home cotton for this because the Premier Home cotton has polyester in it, and the polyester actually will melt under heat conditions. So you can't, if you make this out of Premier Home cotton, you can't use it for anything that is hot. You can't use it for a pot holder. You cannot use it for a trivet. Okay, just because that polyester will melt. It is a plastic based thing. Alright, so the Himalayan, like it says, 100% cotton. I am holding 3 together. I am using a 5mm crochet hook. And I am going to show you for demonstration purposes the beginning row in the Premier Home cotton, but I'm going to reiterate, do not use the Premier Home cotton for a trivet or a Hotpad or a pot holder, okay? It's not going to work. You need 100% cotton, and I'm holding 3 together of these because those were on a really good deal. Alright, so start with a slip stitch, slip knot, okay? And then we're going to chain 30. And 30. Alright, chain 30. If you want to make this an extra large one, you can go ahead and chain 40. It's not going to matter. Now we're going to just skip. We're going to go over to the very first chain right there, and we're going to put we're going to put 3 single crochets in the first chain. 2, 3 single crochets, and then in every stitch we're going to put a single crochet. This pattern is working in the round. So we're going to work around the chain. We're going to work up one side, we'll go around and work the back side of the chain, okay? So we're going to just chain all the way across. When you get to the last chain, make sure you have 3 single crochets in that last chain. That will help us to round the corner and go up the other side. Okay, that's why we put 3 in the first one, and we're going to put 3 in the last chain. I'm using the Premier Home Cotton as an example just because it's on my desk already. I've been working with it over the past couple of weeks, and I don't feel like getting my box of cotton down and finding more 100% cotton. I do have some. I just grabbed what was closest. And this is a fine yarn for a washcloth. This is fine yarn for hand towels. Just not anything like Hotpads, trivets, oven mitts, none of that. Alright, we got to the last stitch, and we're going to put 3 single crochets in that last stitch. 1, 2, 3. And now, these are the stitches we just created. We're going to work up this side of the chain. And I'm just going to put a single crochet in every stitch. And I'm going right over the top of my tail because I don't want to have to deal with that later. See, if you pull it apart, you can see this is where the stitch on top is. Just put it underneath the bottom stitch. Or the bottom of the stitch. Stitch count on this at the end of the day is not really going to matter because it's a Hotpad. You're not making a beautiful shawl or something, you know. It's a Hotpad. So you should, if you chain 30, you should have 32, 64. You should have 64 stitches at the end of the row, give or take, by the time you went all the way up and around in a circle. Unless you did 40, then you should have 84. But it doesn't really matter. It does not matter. I'm gonna be real honest. It's a Hotpad. It's an oven mitt. It's whatever you want to call it. You can put a liner in these of heat-proof materials. I've never done that. I generally use these as trivets instead of... Alright, we got to the end of the row where we first did those first 3 ones. I've never had to put a liner. I don't go grabbing super hot stuff with these because there are holes in the fabric and it could potentially burn you. especially if you don't crochet real tight. I generally use these for like pots and pans on top of the stove, not coming out of the oven, or as a trivet to set something on my table so my table doesn't turn white. Alright, so this is the first stitch of the 3 single crochets we did. So we're going to put a single crochet in this stitch. Okay, and then a double crochet in the next stitch. And then a single crochet in the next stitch. We're just working in the round. We're not chaining, or we're not slip stitching to join in the row. We're just going up and around and just repeating around and around in a circle. There's not going to be a beginning or an end of a row. But what we are doing is single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet all the way around until it reaches the length we need it to reach. So just keep crocheting. We're not adding any stitches. We're not doing any decreases. You are just in a circle. Single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. Just all the way around. That's just what we're doing. It just adds a little bit of texture, a little bit of extra thickness. This yarn is on the thin side for a 5mm hook. So actually, if I was doing with a thinner cotton, I would probably adjust my hook size and maybe do a higher starting chain. Play with it, see what feels good to you. Because when this is over, it's going to be double thick, so. I'm going to show you this first row so that you understand. Just keep going in a circle. Single crochet, double crochet in the next, single crochet in the next. And you can hold a 4-weight, a medium 4-weight double if you want it to be extra thick. The thicker the yarn and the tighter the stitches, it's going to be really stiff. And so it will make a better trivet or a Hotpad than it will an oven mitt. So keep all of those things in mind. Now I'm just going up and around the edge, just continuing. Single crochet, double, single, double, single, double. And what will happen is these ends will try to curl in on themselves, and that's okay because that's kind of what we want. We're basically creating a pouch. I feel like there's a song with that single double in it. It's just a single double. I think it's a dance song. I can hear it in my head, but I don't know if that's actually the words or if my brain is just making up songs again. Just a single double. It's from a dance movie. If you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments so everybody knows that I'm not crazy. The yarn ball is creeping across the table like, nope, I'm coming. Well, you're not. Stay over there. Stay on your side of the table. Alright, so let's see. This is the beginning of the row. See how it's kind of curling in. As normal. Instead of slip stitching to join, just continue doing single, double, single, double. And it tries to curl towards you, so you gotta teach that thing a lesson and flip it around so it's, you're actually gonna kind of force it up this way. So just stick your finger in there and push it facing the other direction so that you actually have the right side facing towards you. Just keep going in a circle, doing the stitch, single, then double crochet until you create like a sack. And what's going to happen, this is just a washcloth, okay? The sack is going to be more like a tube like this. Okay, we're pretending it's a tube. And it's going to get long enough that it's going to be able to fold like that. Okay, and then we're going to seam it up. And then it's going to be a triangle, or not a square Hotpad that's double-sided. So what we're doing is, because we're working in the round this way, it will look like this. Give me 1 second, I'm almost done. It will look like this. And then when it gets tall enough for you to fold it and the edges touch, that's when we're going to seam it up. So just keep going. I'm going to deal with my children and my dogs. And keep going in the round, and I will be back to show you the next step. Alright, we made good progress. Now, it kind of looks like a bag, right? The measurements we have are if we stretch it, it's 9 inches. And then the shorter end is 4.5 inches. And what I do is, see how the peaks are down here? I stop it at the midway point between the peaks, because when you fold, let me raise you guys up. The light might go out because of the way it's plugged in. Hang on. Alright. So it naturally wants to fold like this. Now you're going to notice the inside is way prettier. The reason I had you, oops, I lost a stitch. The reason I had you flip it that way, so the right side was out towards you, so it was just easier to just crochet in a circle. But we are in fact going to flip it inside out, because the wrong side of the bag, it's not a bag, but the wrong side of the pot holder is prettier and it's textured. And I'm sure it looks way better in your hand than it does on the camera, but I just crocheted until, when you open the bag like this and you fold it flat, the two lips should touch so that we can seam this up. Okay, now if you fold it and it looks like this still, see that? Don't force it. Don't force it. Just do another row, another 2 rows, and it will meet up with no problem. So 1/2 of 9 is 4.5. So whatever length your, we're calling it a bag, is, this should be about half of it. Okay, so if this is 10 inches, you should crochet till you have 5 inches here. It's just how it works. And then you fold it flat. Now I'm going to give you a couple of options. You can run and pinch these together like this, and you just single crochet that closed. It will be fine. It will still work as a Hotpad. I am going to sew mine closed, but before I do that, I'm going to add a little hanging handle. So make sure when you end the row, hang on, let me get my string aligned. Something is loose. There's a string hanging. There it is. Alright. So when you end your row, you want it to be up at this peak right here. Okay. And I'm going to slip stitch to the center of the peak, because this is where I'm making my little hanging handle. Alright. And I'm just going to chain until it's a loop that is a decent size for a hook. Probably 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Well, we'll go a little more. We'll go 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That way I can hang it over the knob in my kitchen. We'll slip stitch in the same stitch that we just slip stitched in before. Okay. That's a pretty decent hanging handle. That's a chain of 16. No, it's not 16. That's a chain of 15. Now I'm going to just grab a big old string. Big old string. Couple feet. Probably 2 feet. Just to make sure we have enough. And I have lots and lots of this left over. So even though I held it 3 together, I have enough to make a couple more of those. Alright. Now I'm going to grab a big old needle. I like to sew them closed because I feel like it hides the seam a little more. So I'm just gonna pull that all the way through. If you can hear little man in the background, it's just me and him still. Mr. Cinnamon ran to the grocery store for me because we're like 4 days past where we needed to grocery shop. And actually this string is way too long. Way too long. That's about 2 feet. I cut like 4 feet. Alright. I'm going to have to lower you guys back down. I just threaded my needle. I'm going to have to bring you back in close. Ooh, we went down. We went down. Alright. Now the way that I'm going to seam this is the way I seam a lot of stuff. I'm not sure the official name of this. I've heard it been called a lot of things. I call it the shoelace. Or the shoelace. Like, I do it the way you're lacing up some shoes. So I go in this side from underneath through to the top. Oops. And then I go to the other side and I go from underneath. Let's see, I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can really see what I'm doing. And please excuse my son. I hate that new noise he has created. Alright. Right there. Go from underneath, go through to the top. Go to the next stitch. Make sure you get every stitch. Go from underneath. Go through. It's like you're lacing it closed. Does it take a little extra time than crocheting? Yeah. And if you just want to single crochet it, I ain't gonna fault you for that. You'll have a seam here, but I've done it to where I've had a seam. That's up to you. It's your Hotpad. I just like the way it looks closed off. Alright. Hopefully he'll stop now. Mama's not happy. I'm trying to finish this up. Because I'm recording this the same day I did the blanket tutorial. And I don't want to work on his birthday. I don't want to work on my birthday. So, I told him, I was like, I'm trying to finish this up so I'm not working tomorrow. Because I wanted to get these 2 tutorials out this week. Because it's something I planned on doing because I wanted to do it. See, that's how it looks. It looks completely, like, nice. Now, you're still going to have somewhat of a seam on the other side, but that's why it doesn't matter if you crochet it closed or not. I mean, it's a Hotpad. Like, does it have to be beautiful? No. But I'm taking a few minutes to add a few extra details to it. Because that's what I want to do. It is so hot in my office today. We are, like I said, I'm recording this on the 7th. You won't see this until Friday. We are expecting Hurricane Debbie to roll through. We don't get like severe hurricanes here where I live. The last destructive hurricane we got was I want to say 2011 or 2012. We just got buckets and buckets of rain for 10 days straight. And the house we were renting at the time, it flooded the entire basement. And it wasn't a basement, it was like a tri-level. It was terrible. But we're only supposed to get, I think, 2 days of storms. It rained today. We had a really good like downpouring today. And then it says it's going to rain all of the 8th and all of the 9th. And if you don't know, I live by a major river. And it does flood when there's hurricane issues. I'm not concerned though. I'm far enough away from the river that it should not affect us, but our neighborhood also has, we don't have a creek, but we have, I don't know what you call it. We have a giant pond, and we have, I guess it would be a creek, but it's like, there's a lot of waterways that filter through these neighborhoods, and they do tend to flood. And my backyard has really atrocious draining because it's like 100% clay. And so we may have some flooding, but thank God we don't have a basement. Because the lady next door, the old lady next door that I don't get along with, she has a basement, and every time my sprinkler goes on, her basement floods. Like, I swear. And she's had so much work and piled so much money into her house to get the basement to stop flooding. It just keeps flooding and keeps flooding. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I did not enjoy making this. It hurt my hands because it's so thick. And I hope that wasn't my soda he spilled. I just heard him drop something and then yell, "Mom." Pray that wasn't my soda, because my soda is over the carpet. So, although by the time you guys see this video, the hurricane will have passed and whatever happened, happened, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. So yeah, I didn't enjoy this. It hurt my hands. It was, I was trying to work on it after I made the blanket tutorial yesterday. I mean, the tutorial from yesterday, but I made the tutorial this morning while I was making dinner. So, and then Mr. Cinnamon comes home. He's like, "We need to go grocery shopping tonight." I was like, I have a tutorial to finish. I'm just pulling that tight so it's a little bit more closed off. Oh, we lost a string. But I'm glad that we made it so I can show you guys how to make these, because when I'm working with a yarn that I like working with and I'm not on a time crunch, I actually like making these. I actually love using them. So this today was one of those days where I didn't find joy in making this. But I hope that you find joy in making it. I hope you enjoy it. I really like the way this yarn turned out. I mean, it's held triple, but you can still see, and I don't know how much is showing up on camera, there's like dark spots and light spots, and there's like different shades. It's just really pretty. I'll zoom you guys back out so you can see what I'm talking about. It's very acid wash, and it looks like, these almost look like little flowers. I just think it's pretty. It's a pretty little Hotpad. Now we're just going to weave it in. Find some random loops going in different directions. make that even so that the shorter one's not falling out. That didn't work. It didn't work. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. At the very least, I enjoyed spending this time with you. At least that much is true. And I'm glad I have one of these because all of my hot pads and stuff in the kitchen are disappearing because they're getting holes in them, they're worn down, they're getting dirty, like beyond clean dirty. And I needed some new ones, so now I have this pretty bluish one, teal, whatever you want to call it. And done. It's that simple. A couple hours, you have a really nice little hot pad. Like I said, there's things that you can put in here to stop you from getting like burned, to keep you from this getting too hot. Like you can line it with whatever that is. I don't remember what it's called. And you could do that as an extra preventative, but it's thick. Let's see. That's almost a ½ inch thick. Like it's thick. So it will definitely protect your hands. If you wanted to, instead of seaming this up, you could have just left it open and you would have had a triangle one that goes over just your fingertips and your thumb. I've seen people do that too. Like you could have just did like a border and left that open, and then you would have had like an open mouth hot pad. But, all right, there's that. Jen's hot pad coming straight at ya. That's me, Cinnamon Stitches, and my man, Little Man. Take it back, yo, take it back. Here we go. Ooh, that is. A little string from where something got tied off right there. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.